Hey everyone, I'm John. It's time for another segment of Ask Me About My Research, kind of talking about some various elements of Volga-German culture, and we got a few questions this week. Uh, the very first one is how long did it take them to get here? Presumably from Russia to the United States. Uh, well, they would actually start. We know from the exact date that they left on October 23rd, um, 1875. They would take a kind of a steamboat from their village in Getherensstadt to Sarantov, which is another city nearby. They would then take a train that would go on the 27th or 28th of October to Berlin, Germany. And then from there, they would leave on November 2nd, which was All Souls Day. They record it. They would go on November 2nd and travel then to Baltimore, or take a ship to Baltimore. They arrived on November 23rd in Baltimore. And this is the very first wave that I'm talking about. And then they would take a train from Baltimore they would basically take the Union Pacific, I think railroad it was, to St. Louis, and then St. Louis to Topeka. And then they would stay in Topeka for basically until March 1st, 1876. And then they would move out to Hayes. They lived in a store in Hayes for a while until they built their houses out in Catherine, or in Catherine, as it would come to be called. And then they would move out into Catherine. So that's basically the traces of how they came here. The second wave would then come in July and August, and then the last wave would come in 1878. Or August 1878. So that's kind of gives you a little idea of how long it took them to get here. So I would say it took them really about 2 months to really about a month, 2 months to get here. Most of them came through Baltimore. I think on their initial trip they might have come through Ellis Island, but most of them came through Baltimore as the easiest stop because it had a railroad connection. And then the next question asks about how long did it take them to get citizenship? Well, the only person we have recorded from Catherine that talks about citizenship is Jacob Schmidt. And Jacob Schmidt got citizenship in July of 1881, and it took him all the way until October to actually have it happen. In July, he would renounce his citizenship to Russia, and then in October, he would actually get his citizenship to the United States. And it's presumed he had to use Smith instead of Schmidt because of anti-German bias. I find that a little odd because really anti-German bias wouldn't hit the United States until World War I. So I find that very interesting that in 1881 that was mainly a problem. But in the record books it actually shows that Smith is the name that he had to use. So those are just a couple questions, how long it took him to get here, and then also talking about how long it took them to get citizenship. So thanks, and keep reading my blog, and answer, if you have more questions you want me to answer, just submit them either on my Facebook page or submit them in the comments section of my blog.